And now, live from Pod Cabin in Burbank, California, it's St. Patrick's Day on the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend show. Tonight, Allison welcomes her guests. She's a producer and podcaster who's tired of receiving unsolicited shillelagh pics from leprechauns over on Shamrock Twitter. It's Renee Colvert. And he's a comedian who's making Irish coffee extra Irish by adding not just whiskey, but also a lot of whiskey. It's David Huntsberger. Tone Zone is here to find himself a bonny lass in a nice summer's glen, where he will lay her down on wild clover to whisper sweet poems he's written about the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I'm her husband Daniel, saying hop on board the love bus and say Gia Gwitch to your new best friend, Allison Rosen.
Allison Rosen, Allison Rosen is your new best friend. Allison, with her good times never end. Allison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Allison Rosen, Allison's your new best friend.
Hello, my little fried Oreos. Welcome to another exciting episode of Allison Rosen's Your New Best Friend. That particular carbohydrate was sent in on Twitter by Julie Kem. And yes, I am wishing I had chosen a special St. Patrick's Day carbohydrate. But hey, there's always next week.
Did you mean to say on Twitter?
Did I say on Twitter?
Yeah, because I was ready for that button and I was very thrown.
What is happening? No, I did not mean to say on Twitter that. I mean, I guess I could take carbohydrate submissions on Twitter. I have never, so it would. Why start now? Hang on one second. I'm just gonna cough.
Another solid start.
I typically take carbohydrate submissions on Patreon. Yes, I'm on. Oh my God, you guys, I've been doing this for so long. It's weird that it's falling apart now. Maybe it makes sense in some way. Anyway, I'm on Patreon. Bonus episodes of The Friend Zone.
Patreon.
There's the level where you can text me and I'll text you back. You can submit carbohydrates. You can also submit them on Twitter. I won't be receiving them there, but
Twitter.
you know, I am on Twitter. And you can submit questions for the guests. You can see the episode, the video of this episode that we're recording right now. It's got lots of chuckles and guffaws and silly stuff. Renee and I are matching, and it was not even planned.
Not even.
You know, super fun. There's other stuff, but I'm not going to tax my brain.
Just
because
selling it.
Even look. My brain has said no more, and I am going to listen because when I try to do impossible tasks like thinking, bad stuff happens. This is the second show today, and apparently I was done as of half an hour ago. So I recommend patreon.com/Allison Rosen for all your Patreon needs regarding Allison Rosen. Sign up for a year, a year, 12 months for the price of 10. Now,
That's a good deal. It is.
my nose is running. What else could go wrong? I am very much looking forward to welcoming these guests to the show because I love all of them. Renee Colvert, it's been too long. Hello, welcome.
I missed you so much. It's so good to be back.
I
Thrilled to
know.
be here. There is a element of junior high that still applies when you dress the same as someone cool. You're just like, oh, well, wow, I didn't know I was doing an upgrade. I am wearing the same thing as Allison. It's fine.
my God.
It's fine. I'm just as popular
Cool
as you are.
as
No big deal.
fuck.
Oh my God. I love
Proud
that
of
you
us.
think I'm cool.
Proud
See?
of us. Yeah,
Part
you
of
were
me.
very cool. Did you not hear that cough earlier?
That's a cool cough.
It's a cool cough. It's a cool cough.
I'm so cool that when I started high school, I kept a notebook where I wrote down every single thing I wore so I wouldn't repeat outfits. The only time in my life I've ever, if anyone's been around me for more than, 3 days,
Right.
not a concern of mine anymore. I'm basically I just have a uniform at this point. But at the beginning of high school, it was a concern of mine. I even wrote down my accessories. That's how cool I was.
Incredibly impressive. And then was the goal to never repeat, or the goal was now I have sort of a
document
sheet of what
I don't
works.
even know. I don't even know what the goal was at that point. I think, at a certain point, it certainly wasn't to never repeat. Like, I know that Tiffany Haddish had some fancy white suit that she wore to more than one award shows, and she made some comment like, I spent, thousands of dollars on this. Of course I'm going to wear it more than once. And that's when it occurred to me, like, yeah, it's insane that celebrities, like all of us, are expected to wear an outfit once and then throw it away. I don't think so.
Certainly not. I was giggling to myself thinking about if I had done that, it would have been like my Les Mis shirt, my fandom shirt, my Miss Saigon shirt, my cat shirt, and just all of the musical, because that's all I wore. It was just musical theater garb.
I think that's
It
cool,
would have been a
Renee.
sad journal.
I think
That is cool. Allison, I think you're lying to me.
no, I think you're cool.
I think you're cool. All right. Should we ask everyone else to
We're
leave?
a couple of cool gals is what we are. Also cool, David Huntsberger. Hello, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Elated to be part of the Mail It In show, the second show of the day. Tired. Just elated. And I was so excited to hear you say you had a clothing journal, and then really crushed to hear that you ended yours, because I never stopped mine.
Oh, really?
To this day I do it. It's just become like a rote sort of behavior.
Yeah.
And
What kind
that's
of journal?
fun. Yeah, I just want to know. I want to look back and skim through and know, oh yeah, that was a heavy period of cargo shorts, and then I can detail exactly what period that was.
No, but I mean, when I say what kind of journal, are we talking spiral notebook? Are we talking steno?
Did you ever see the movie Seven?
Actually, I have not. I'm familiar with it, though.
Well, you see some like B-roll of a gentleman sewing together the binding. And so each season I add a new a new segment for that, and I sew it in, and I bind it with like some wood clamps, and I glue it, and then I put on a new binding. It's a whole ritual, but it's just seasonal.
Of course, you do not go to the store and buy a college-ruled Mead notebook. Of course you don't. Of course you are doing your own home binding. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised I haven't shown it to you or lugged it over there at some point, because it's just a hoot. No photos, though. Sometimes I'll do a sketch and be like, this is what this season's Lederhosen looked like, but...
Yeah.
No photos.
Do you now, for you, is it a hindsight, or is it, and I don't know if the word is proscriptive or prescriptive, but like, do you sit down, is it like meal planning, or is it like a food journal? Like, and I'm going to stop giving examples and I'm going to say what I'm saying. Do you write down what your outfit's going to be at the beginning of the day, or as you are turning in for the night, do you write what you wore that day?
Well, each season is its own animal, and so I try to not think too much. Mostly it's a series of collections and combinations.
Okay.
It's a study in math as much as anything. But when I was in elementary school, I was introduced to the Guinness Book of World Records. And it occurred to me that, there's a way to do something the best. So this is really just an almanac for people to look back on and to see how to perfectly dress for a lifetime. To not miss a single day, to absolutely nail it every day of your life. And I'm hoping that it's an inspiration for children, generations to come.
Yes, I love the ambition, because I feel
Thank you.
people, what's wrong with the world today?
Lay it on me, girl.
Get ready. I'm gonna slay, queen.
What's wrong with the world today?
This is what's wrong. American excellence is being tamped down.
Yes.
Just go, girl. They are trying to silence our excellence, our uniqueness, our unique excellence. They're like, you know what? And it's just participation trophies as far as the eye can see. But you have nailed dressing perfectly. And they say you're going to make people feel bad. Oh, little Johnny, he'll feel bad. He won't try anymore. I say, let him feel bad. Let him see how well David Huntsberger dresses every single day of the week, 24/7, 52, 365, occasionally 366. And then he'll learn to aspire to dressing better. You know, that's what I say. And that's why I'm too hot for mainstream. You know what? I just realized we haven't even introduced the rest of the show. And I would like to say hello, Daniel Quantz, my husband. Hi.
Hello. I feel like this will definitely be one of the artifacts of our society that future...
This show or Dave's Almanac to perfect
not
fashion.
The show. You know, future species that evolve into intelligent, and they find the rubble of our society. They'll find that book, and they'll be able to recreate David.
Thank you, man. It's funny you mentioned finding it, because when the pandemic was really at a worrisome level, I had them all put into a titanium 50-gallon drum and welded shut,
So
hurled them into the ocean, thinking someone will dive down and find these at one point. And so now I had to pay a bunch of money to get it hauled back out of the ocean, and it's just sitting in the driveway. And but I kept going on a spare, so I have to like transfer the spare into the actual.
And so I'm imagining this global live TV event, right?
Yes.
With this future like Squid Geraldo Rivera, okay, who's going to open this sealed vault to find the artifact from this civilization, and they open it, they find the book, and it's like T-shirt and jeans, blue T-shirt and faded jeans, gray T-shirt, gray jeans, and they will be delighted, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, they'll need entertainment, and now suddenly they can everyone get to work sewing costumes. Let's put together a production of this, and then
Dave Fest.
Dave Fest will take a calendar year to just go through one volume.
And maybe this future very formal society will learn how to be casual.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the goal.
Yeah, and then they'll be studying it in whatever their form. I guess they'll be squid. Is that what you're suggesting, Daniel?
I mean, what other species would?
Right. So, or just the media will be squid.
Sure.
So both. Anyway, at their Squid College, they'll be thinking oh, just the royalty were dressing like this, and they'll be like, no, Dave was a man of the people. You don't understand. And there'll be a lot of debate about whether is Dave high art or is Dave the everyday man?
Yeah.
A lot. Maybe you should. No, I was going to say maybe you should put some context in there to tell them how to interpret it, but I don't think you need to hold their hand or their tentacle.
It's going to be tough to discern, because it started with me just writing I'm a common person, I'm not some sort of dignitary, but on my bad days where my outfits weren't well received, sometimes I'd come home and cross out certain words that, unless they have a lifter that lift off the crossed out words, it might read that I am a very important person who travels to the future and the past, and also dresses perfectly everywhere, and is a dignitary. And so that could be confusing for them in their pageants, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah. We got to trust them.
I trust squids. I mean, it's especially putting together pageants. That's their thing.
Yes.
Nothing like
they
a squid
put
pageant.
regular what, Daniel?
I said nothing like a squid pageant if you've never gone.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say, is that they put regular pageants to shame. Miss America pageant, get out of here.
You see a bunch of squid and loosely fitting T-shirts just strutting it. It's emotional.
Tony Thaxton, hello. We did hear a peep from you earlier when I messed up the intro, but you're officially welcomed to the show now.
Oh, thank you so much. Another day, another Zoom. Here we are, still not in person. Listeners, start bullying Allison to have us record in person.
We have an in-person show on the calendar.
I know.
You've offered me $40,000 to do an in-person show. I've accepted. Per episode.
Tony, that's too much. What are you doing? I bet you would have taken 100. Why'd you start at 40 grand?
Tony, you guys, just stay out of this. This is not your business.
I can't I can't move on until I know how you landed on that number.
Get this, because you guys are worried about Tony. What about me? As a woman, I accepted his first offer because there wasn't even
$40,000.
we didn't even negotiate. He said to me, "I'll pay you," and I said, "How much?" He said, "We'll have this conversation off air." So then on text, I forget who started, because you never want to be the first person who mentions the number, right? But then he just said $40K, and I said, "You got a deal." And then I was like, "Oh God, should I have negotiated?" And I don't know what went through his head in terms of should he have negotiated. But then we were done.
And no signing bonus, no vacation days.
Let's not get crazy.
Well,
No.
okay. All right.
Yeah, get crazy.
Did I make a
get
mistake?
crazy. It's already very sane and reasonable as it is.
Yeah. Again, this is between Allison and I. You guys don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. But anyway,
I'm
yeah,
very
Tony, I
worried.
guess the
I'm
question
just
is
so you know.
how did we settle on $40K per episode?
I mean, there was this whole algorithm that it's going to go over you guys' head.
I'm building a rocket and I'm flying it over Hell's Gulch. You don't need to worry. It's not your business. Don't worry about me. You guys don't need to know if I know anything about seatbelts or jet propulsion or rockets in general. Don't worry about me.
And
I'm
you know what
worried. I'm worried about your mental state.
A little concerned.
No,
Yeah.
to what you're saying, I say, okay, yeah. If you tell me not to worry, I'm not going to worry, because you're my friend and I'll listen to you.
I feel like you're paying lip service to their concern, but you're still gonna do what you want to do.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Yeah. Okay.
Now, was it on me?
Yes. You're like, oh, great news. Tony showed up wearing Kleenex boxes for shoes, and he was palming mayonnaise out of a jar, and he handed me a check for $40,000. So probably should have negotiated for a little bit more. That's on me.
Yeah. So wait, should I have ripped up the check and handed it back to him?
You should say, how's everything going, buddy? How you feeling?
Great, because I'm paying her $40,000 an episode, so clearly things are going great.
Yeah. His finances are none of my business.
Yeah. You don't know what Allison already pays me.
That would make some sense if you weren't showing up.
I pay him $80,000
Okay, that's the information we needed.
yeah,
that's the
good.
information we needed. Okay, so Allison, you came at it. Tony, will you produce my show? $80K an episode. So that's okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
So
we don't
have
usually
some
talk about
reflection
that on
for
the
everyone.
Yeah, it's kind of
On the
between
table.
us, but
Yeah.
Okay.
You've revealed quite a
Cat's
lot.
out of the bag.
Yeah, jeez.
anyway, Tony, question.
Yeah.
Now, we know that you're in your music room.
/ bedroom, yes.
Oh, wait a minute. I was going to say, but I feel like you're in, again, patreon.com/Allison Rosen to see what we're talking about. I was going to say, I feel like you're in even yet another angle of this room, but I see a drum poking out behind you, so I take that back.
I'm just like, I'm slightly shifted from where I've been previously. I felt like if I shifted a little bit, the background looked a little better. I did this for you, since we're on fucking Zoom.
Okay, question
Comfy.
for the room. And then we're moving on to the fact that Renee pointed out it's Pi Day, and I don't mean the delectable dessert, I mean the mathematical number. And we have something to talk about regarding that, but that comes next. Here's the question. Dave mentioned the Guinness Book of World Records, which was, for me, and I feel like we're all somewhat of the same age, a big deal back when I was in grade school. I don't remember at what age I discovered it, but there were, let's see, two images. When I think Guinness Book, I think of two images
Let me guess one of
specifically.
them.
That's what I want to know. I want to go around and find out what were the two images that really like stuck with you. Daniel, if you want to guess mine,
I bet I
go
can
for
guess
it.
both of them.
Okay.
The first one was the overweight twins on the motorcycles.
Yep.
I had thought of that
That's
too.
the one.
Right in my head.
The one,
Is that unanimous?
Oh,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was
absolutely.
everybody's.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not one of mine.
Okay.
That's
All
not
I
one
was
of
just
mine.
having that conversation recently about like
and
why
5.
that says so much about how like we're this generation that would hand around VHS tapes, so we would watch movies over and over and could quote them, and now you just stream. You just the next thing that shows up in the queue. So there's not that permanence.
Right.
But everyone at some point went, "Whoa, those are big twins," and like
Well, the
had that in
motorcycles are so little.
Oh, but I'm
under
glad
them.
they have a hobby.
They both seem to love mini bikes. Wow, what are the odds of that?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Wow.
And the second one is the world's longest fingernails.
Yep.
Yes, that's
Two
right.
for two. 2 for 2.
Okay,
Great.
mine's the fingernails. Does anyone? Does everyone was twins at nails?
Yeah.
I didn't think of the nails. I honestly couldn't think of a second one. The only one I thought of was twins.
For me, the other one was the pygmy marmosets. So there's someone holding their fingers in like a peace sign, and then there's the two pygmy marmosets, which are the world's smallest monkeys. They're so fucking cute. I wanted them as pets.
I'm trying to think back to, because there have been a number of long fingernailed people. And so much like a detective with a lineup of photographs going, which person here tried to steal your purse? And, human memory is not a reliable source because things change so much. In my head, it's a person and he's elderly.
Yeah, it's a
and
guy.
He's a guy. He's Asian and he's kind of balding, but has like really long white hair that's very thin. And he's holding them out to the side, and he's wearing like linen sort of drapery clothing. Does that sound
He was
familiar?
Indian.
Oh, he's Indian. Okay, yeah.
That
Well,
sounds
silly.
familiar, although that sounds familiar, but I feel like I'm wondering if you would describe something very different if I would have been like, yes, that sounds right.
I know. That's how I feel too. I was hoping someone would go, no. It's this. You're wrong. But I think it was just like on a lawn, grass
And the
or something. and just holding it
nails
out
are
to the side.
curly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
they're
So,
curly.
That sounds right to me.
I think so. Yeah, it was because I think you see the nails and then you go through the like, how do they go to the bathroom?
That's-
And
oh
I
my
never
God,
made it up to
yes.
the face, and then
And
I never
then-
made it up to the face.
Right.
And then how do they
Same guy
type?
has the world's dirtiest butt.
Imagine
Dave,
being. Oh, sorry, Renee. Go.
So I would say I googled it, and you're right. That's exactly the.
Is that the image?
Really?
I know.
Wow.
Put it in the chat.
Lock him up. I was a
Right.
good witness there. Lock him
You
up.
were.
That's right.
Otherwise, not trustworthy.
Oh my God. Okay. We're all headed now to see this photo.
You could take a peek.
Sweet. Imagine if you were
Oh, little
1
bit different.
inch away
Whoa.
from.
oh.
Oh, it's not long and wispy hair though, and it's not really linen. It's just kind of like
Now, memory is faulty. According to my memory from 2 minutes ago, this is exactly what you described.
Well, that's not the picture I remember.
No, I don't think this is
not
the guy.
Yeah, that's not the one
Although-
I remember either.
Okay.
Ugh.
Because this guy's not on a
That makes me
lawn
wanna
either.
Hurl.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
That
why?
guy.
Also,
yeah,
why?
those
Why?
look like rutabagas or something.
I know. Imagine being 1 inch or 1 centimeter from the record, and you're like, "This is," and then you lean over at a table saw and lop off your other hand, You're like, "Oh, my asshole! It's gonna be so filled." Will anyone? I'm gonna be laid up for a bit. I need you to come over and wipe me down until I pass this record. And your friends are like, it was weird enough that you were doing the fingernail. I'm not also wiping your ass. You got to cut him off. It's time to grow up a little bit. That would be a horrible scenario.
It'd be tough.
Wait, why did he lop off his hand?
He was admiring his own fingernails, and he was visiting a friend who teaches shop at a high school, and he leaned down and zoom, cut off like a portion of his other hand,
Got it.
which rendered
just
it
imagine
incapable of
Every
you know.
single activity
Wiping.
in life becomes a huge pain in the ass. With
Yeah.
nails
What
like
do you
that.
do? Yeah.
And it's not like you're one-handed, like, was it Jim Abbott, the pitcher, where he could still,
Yeah.
like, throw down the glove. He could pitch, pop a glove on that was held under his arm, and field the ball because he wasn't weighed down by, like, 30 pounds of fingernail. So you're not only, like, doing everything one-handed, you're also severely limited by the weight of this other useless hand.
But imagine a pitcher that was able to overcome that. I mean, that would be
Pretty impressive.
that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah, just holding up this giant highlight wicket thing that's natural. It's grown in. This is legal. And the ball just gets
It's like
stuck
he's a
in
relief
it.
pitcher, and so the music comes on the stadium. It's like down, 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 and he just comes dragging his fingernails. And he's like, ugh. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. Every batter just cringing, and they're like, "Do I have to do this?"
He just strikes people out because people are like, ugh.
I don't
Yeah.
want to get close to that.
I have a sports question. Here it comes. So Elliot is now taking sports class.
Aw.
It is called sports class.
Sports
the
class.
flyer
Does all the
had like
sports.
It's about the Huey Lewis album.
Yeah.
yes. They cover all sports. Not all, but a number of them in one class. They go from baseball to volleyball to various ball sports.
Soccer. Right.
And so I was noticing he was figuring the coach was asking them, and he does call himself coach. I'm not going to make comment on someone who refers to themselves as coach. It's a fine name. Anyway, figuring out if they're right-handed or left-handed, and then putting the little like catcher's mitt thing, which is not a real mitt. It's like a little sticky thing on their hand, their left hand. And this is very obvious for people who have any aptitude with baseball, but you catch with your left, throw with your right. But I was looking at it, and for a second I was thinking, as the ball, even though Elliot is good, but on this day the balls were just whizzing past his little catcher's mitt, and I was like, well, it's on his left hand. And I was thinking, you just catch with your non-dominant hand? Is it like you don't really need much precision with that hand?
Well, you have a glove.
You need more with your...
You have to have a glove on your catching hand. So it'd be harder to throw with your non-dominant hand.
Yeah.
I bet it's like guitar, since you're a guitar player. I think at some point you just determined which one was going to be on the frets and which one was going to be strumming.
Right.
It's similar.
I'm thinking about this for a second.
All you need to do is this to catch.
Yeah. All right.
Harder than you think.
That makes sense. Listen, you guys, I want to talk about Thrive Cosmetics. I'm actually wearing Thrive Cosmetics mascara right now. I love it so much. Are you? In black, which they call Bryn. Yeah, the lash extensions mascara. I use the different kind of mascara my entire life ever since I was 16. And then I for like the last year, this is the only one I will let touch my eyelashes. It is my absolute favorite. It's so good. I love it so much. And I love Thrive Cosmetics. I also they have this it's like a rose gold eye brightening crayon thing that I put in the corners. And I love Thrive because they're 100% vegan. They're liquid lash extensions. That's the name of it. I was trying to remember the specific name of it. Their liquid lash extensions mascara is their best-selling product, has more than 15,000 five-star reviews. Renee and I wrote 14,999 of them. Ultra lengthening, eye-opening, lasts all day without clumping, smudging, or flaking. It also comes off so easily. That's like one of my favorite things about it. You're not just like, it just slides right off with warm water and a washcloth. It's so great. And for every product purchased, Thrive Cosmetics donates to help women thrive. Now is a great time to try Thrive Cosmetics for yourself. Right now, you can get 15% off your first order when you visit thrivecosmetics.com/Allison. That's Thrive Cosmetics. So Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/Allison for 15% off your first order. And then I also want to tell you guys about Bombas. Bombas' mission is simple: make the most comfortable clothes ever and match every item sold with an equal item donated. So when you buy Bombas, you are also giving to someone in need. I love Bombas because they're all about comfort. I hate itchy tags and those scratchy seams in the neckline, and Bombas solves that problem for me. Also, I love Bombas socks. They make me angry at all my other socks. They hug your foot. They have like perfect reinforcements where you want them, but they don't have seams that bother you. Their clothes are so comfortable. Their socks are super duper comfortable. It's all luxuriously cozy. They have super soft materials like merino wool, Pima cotton, even cashmere, make perfectly cozy layers. Super thoughtful, super comfortable. Go to bombas.com/bestfriend and get 20% off your first purchase. That's Bombas, BOMBAS.com/bestfriend for 20% off. Bombas.com/bestfriend. Okay. Pie Day. Who knows pie to any respectable degree? And I don't. And last week we had Ben Sheehan, who is Jackie Johnson's husband and also has written a couple books on the Constitution and knows all about politics. He gave us a quiz on which countries have the most nukes and like which countries legally and illegally have nukes. And it was a quiz for points. I did the worst out of everyone.
Very
it was the
poorly.
kind of thing where what, honey?
You did very poorly.
It was truly embarrassing. I have been trying to come to terms with it ever since. Like, where did I go wrong? What happened? I'm not a real dum-dum. And yet you'd listen to that and you'd think, yeah, you are. Maybe I am. I don't know. Like, I think of myself as pretty intelligent. Like, I think of myself, but that's a hallmark of stupidity. You think you're way smarter than you are.
You're smart, but you just don't know much about like world events.
Thanks.
I know, but I don't think that's acceptable.
It is.
I mean, it's the kind of thing where if there's certain things that if I ever, I'm not ever going to run for political office, but if I ever did, if someone ever found that episode, they would play it and then they would make a mockery of me. Anyway, what's my point? Oh, my point is I recuse myself from anything where I try to appear smart. So 3.14 and I'm out. Anyone else?
You don't need to be
Definitely.
smart when you're making $40,000 an episode.
Thank you.
Also.
Thank you.
Just saying.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Right.
That's right.
All you need to do is remember that it's Pi Day on March 14th. That's it. That's the extent of what your memory needs to be. And then you go get yourself some free pie.
3.141. 5. Yeah, I did know that.
1519. I think it's 1519, and then it
Yes.
gets squirrely after that.
29.
2652359.
Are you reading?
No, not at all.
There's no reason to know it.
I just wondered if anyone does.
No. I forgot that was even today. And Allison, you're more of a 311 day person, right?
Yes, you know I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
And anyway, it's not though for the listeners.
Oh no, it's
3/17.
St.
St.
Patrick's.
Patrick's
yeah.
Patrick's Day.
The true celebration.
And-
One more
Go ahead.
thing about Pi Day is that the thing that brought me out to California in the first place, I was dating a high school sweetheart who went to Caltech, and you want to find people who know Pi, they will talk your ear off for a good half hour. That's how much those sweet, sweet Caltech kids know those numbers. And
Yeah.
it seems to matter. I don't know why, but I patiently sat and smiled through a lot of numbers.
You're a very nice person.
If anyone like that ever leads you through some sort of story and goes, and this is the crazy thing. So the ratio of height to width or base or scale or whatever it is, volume to do you want to know what it is? Just go, is it pi? 95% of the time, it is pi. It's just most of their stories lead to like, can you believe this? Because it does factor in such a fascinating way. But how fascinating. Only if you hear it, you go, oh, cool. No way I'm going to remember that. I also I'm not going to like wear a shirt with it. I'm not going to have a bumper sticker about like, you know me, I love pie. Just,
Would we care as much about pi if it didn't have its own symbol?
symbol's cool. It is cool.
Or
It's pretty
dessert
cool,
directly
yeah.
affiliated with it.
Right.
I think that's what it has going for it. Like if there was a symbol called cookie, we'd love it.
Snapchat.
Have you guys had crumble cookie? What is the deal with crumble? I feel like there's a lot of I feel like it pops up on social media.
Crumble cookie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't
It's
either.
CRUMBL. This is not a spot, although I feel like it should be. I feel like
Oh,
there's
it's like
also
a brand?
Yes.
Is this sort of like the first time that smash burgers made, and then not only had you not heard of them, but every restaurant had one, or there were entire like chains of them called smash burger, and you're like, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, they smash it down. It's a way to make hamburgers. And then does that have something to do with crumble? Is it like crumbly?
I don't know. See, I don't even know what smash burger is.
Oh, smash
It's like
burgers
a-
are
Oh,
actually
man.
It
good.
looks like it's a brand of cookie, like
I'm wondering if it's like an MLM or something. I don't think it is though. I don't know why I have some in my head. There's something
Just
or
looks
other.
like a tasty cookie, but
Maybe
could
that's
be
just
an
all I
MLM.
know about
we
it.
can get to the bottom of it.
What's an MLM?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, really? A multi-level MLM stands for what?
It's
Oh,
like
pyramid scheme. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
a multi-level bar. It's a legal multi-level.
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
a
like
legal.
LuLaRoe.
Yeah,
You know
multi-level
that
marketing.
burger chain, Burgers I Am? Have you
Yeah.
seen those around?
I've seen it. Is it
So
good?
those apparently are an MLM, and now there's like a lawsuit, and they're starting to disappear because
I was just going to say, I didn't know if they were still around because I haven't seen one. Literally on Saturday night, I drove past a place where I was like, I remembered that used to be one of those, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen one of those places in a while.
How can food be an MLM? How can like a restaurant be an MLM?
Well,
Daniel, I need more
franchise.
Daniel in my cans, which I don't normally say.
It probably has to do with the
turning you up.
franchising. Like if you have an MLM for LuLaRoe, you've got your own little franchise, right? You buy the product and then you sell it.
Right.
So it probably has to do similar.
Oh, like you buy the stuff to open up, and then you try to convince other people to open up their own burger chains or something.
Right.
Interesting.
My question is, and I think these things are all like they're probably related by a quotient, a ratio of pi together, and that is cults, MLMs, and Ponzi schemes. If you're thinking of starting one of them, the cult probably is the one that like it's easiest to tell your friends because on paper maybe it makes sense. You're like, we'll go out to the middle of nowhere, we'll pool our resources, we'll teach each other's kids things, we'll live off the land, we won't waste much, we'll educate each other. You could have so many things that made sense, like, oh, it's just a commune. Mm-hmm. And then someone starts impregnating too many of the women, or something's happening, like, oh yeah, you have to give me all of your money. Oh, you can't get out of your cage until like 3 p.m. That's a new thing I wrote. And they always go haywire. But they start with like, hey, you guys, what about this idea of pooling resource? And everyone just kind of, but a Ponzi scheme, if you thought of it and you're like, oh, this is, how do you feel going up to the first person you ask? Or when you have like a pyramid scheme, the same thing where you're like, I bet Daniel would fall for this stupid ass crap. Or are you genuinely, or is it like a cult where you're genuinely like, this is beautiful. This is really going to work. Which do you think it is?
Ooh, good question.
Which is what?
I think I'd rank them like the Ponzi scheme is the most nefarious. You have bad intentions from the beginning, and yet you're like casting yourself as someone that people can not only trust, but trust with their money. And then the marketing one, is it like the cult where you genuinely think it's going to work out well? Or are you just like, this has a terminal element to it. It can't go on forever. But if I can just get enough people involved, I'll make a ton of money and that'll be worth it to me. So like the first person are you reaching out to? Are you doing it to sort of screw them? Or do you genuinely think it's a good thing?
I think so. We watched the LuLaRoe documentary, and I think that for a while they were really like, these leggings are fucking amazing, right?
I think, yeah. I mean, I think that. What's your question? Like, who's worse?
Yeah, I'm saying like of those three, I would say the Ponzi scheme is the worst because you start with bad intentions, and the cult might be the best because in theory you might start with good intentions and then get corrupted by some element. But to me, the mainstream marketing one or the multi-level marketing one's in the middle.
I think a Ponzi scheme is just a straight up scam.
Can someone remind me, what's the definition of Ponzi scheme again? Is that just a pyramid scheme? Yeah,
it's basically like you recruit 5 people,
and they
those
give
people
me
give you
money,
$100 each, and then they each recruit 5 people.
Right, that's just straight up pyramid scheme.
A part of that, and the money just multiplies.
Right,
but eventually, because it's like exponential, you run out of people, and then so the first people in make a ton of money, and then a whole bunch of people lose a ton of money. MLMs, same. Like when you say, like, if I'm going to start an MLM, the first people I approach, they're going to make a lot of money. Like you would want to be the first level, because those people do make money. It's just that then eventually you run out of people to buy the product because everyone's recruiting salespeople. So I'd say it goes in terms of evil. It would go pyramid scheme, MLM. The cult thing can vary, right? Mm-hmm. Because if it's like, the Bagram kind of like, wild, wild country, it's like, I feel like that was actually pretty benign. It went to some bad places, but not because of the cult. But if you're like the kind of cult I'm going to start, and it's pure like dark sex money stuff.
What's dark
Quants.
sex?
Just stuff that I'm not going to let myself be on record.
It's a shame that people that can't see this, where you're doing your hand like a DJ mixing, kind of.
Yeah, what is
You don't
that?
even want
I'm
to
saying,
know.
like,
Dude, you don't even want to know.
You don't want to know because it's over here in the shadows. That's what we're
So
Dark
sex. Dark sex. I think everyone knows I have a very low threshold for disturbing, scary things. I'm very squeamish. I really loved Yellow Jackets, and I'm surprised I was able to handle that. But like, I don't really know what goes on the dark web. And Daniel has, like, I have
my cult will be on the blockchain.
I've caught fear just from sitting near Daniel and him telling me, like, oh, I've read things about what goes on the dark web. It's really awful. And I'm like, I don't even think I'm going to sleep tonight, and I have no idea what you're even talking about. So Daniel has intimated to me that he knows what happens on the dark web, and I don't want any part of knowing anything about what he knows. And then I'm so tempted to ask him, like, what are you talking about? And he'll just be like, anything you can think of, they do that. And I'm like, do you mean stuff with kids? And he'll be like, anything you can think of. And I'm like, do you mean stuff? And so in my mind, I'm just like, every like sick, perverted thought, I'm just like, whatever it is, they do that. Whatever it is, if you can think of it, they do it for a price. I'm just like, I mean, so anyway, what's my point? Oh yeah. My point is I have this I'm very afraid of what actually the dark web is. But I think that's what Daniel's cult and his dark sex, that's what he's referring to.
Hopefully.
Something so dark that I don't even want to know, but it might involve animals.
No.
Hell
I don't know.
You gotta do.
You wouldn't.
You know,
Come on.
it's way up.
Everyone's mixing the record.
Jesus. Animals. Come on.
Thank you all for being here. As you know, during the day, this is a Presbyterian church, but they do rent it out in the evenings. And I just want to tell you the term cult is just so negative. Let's focus on the dark sex. Okay, that's what I offer. That's what we'll be doing here.
That's right. I feel like the term cult gets thrown around too a lot. You know, I'm already offended that anyone would call what I'm going to do a cult.
Okay.
Is this the Quantz method for cults or the Quantz method for sex?
This is the end game of the Quantz method.
Starting a cult, have a cult idea. Step 2, it's definitely not a cult. Don't call it a cult. It can't be a cult. It has a bad rap. Cults get a rap. Anyway, what we do is we give all the money to me.
Yeah. I'm basically God.
Yeah, I know all the stuff.
You cannot question. There will be branding.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Oh,
to David's
sorry.
point, I do wonder. No, but I think so, Daniel, with your dark sex with MLMs, I think people come at it of just like, no, I'm a good person. I just know that it'll work if you work hard enough. I don't know that anybody comes in thinking
With MLM?
I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him.
I
I
think
think
the
that they justify it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing with
Wrongly.
MLMs is that I don't think that they are actually that much different from just normal business. Like, I think that, not to get political, but like, I think capitalism generally is kind of just an MLM. Like, if you think about pyramid schemes, like, you know, Wall Street is basically a pyramid scheme. You know, like these things, you know, you can just say you're in business. And you know what? Society will basically have your back on that.
Is this what you're going to whisper to people while you're doing dark sex to them?
It's all business. That's what I say to you.
Wall Street.
You know, when I'm in all those ball gags and submerged in that cello, this guy has some interesting ideas about the foundational aspects of general capitalism. And that's what I appreciate about the cult most of all, I suppose. It opens my eyes. I would never open my eyes. I mean, figuratively.
It's all economics.
I'm in.
I think you're right, Renee and Daniel. because I know some people who I have seen get entertain the idea of MLMs, and I think when they get interested in it, they're like, I like this product. On paper, it seems like I could make some good money. And then I think they buy in, and then they're like, the only way, and then there's all, and I don't, I'm surmising, but they buy in, they're a few thousand in. The only way they can make money is if they sign other people up, and they're under a lot of pressure suddenly.
Well, you're
to
talking
make
about the
money,
people that get into it. Those people, those people are doing it for reasons that are totally understandable. It's the people that start it.
That's
Those
true,
You know.
Yeah. But I think that is what I mean, is that I some people maybe start off evil and this will work, but I think they think, well, if you just work hard enough, then in that privileged, shitty
But that's the
way.
con.
I know. I know.
That's like what Kim K, you know what I'm talking about, the other day was like, you all need to just work harder. And it's like, bitch, you were fucking rich when you started. That's what I said
Trevor
on Twitter.
Noah did it.
No, I didn't say
Good
that.
takedown piece.
But other,
yeah, right.
You know?
Wait, so Tony, is that what you're doing with this 40,000 to go on Zoom? Is that where we're
finally
starting?
Got
Don't worry about it.
movies.
Don't worry about it.
Given the kill
Just-
signal.
Allison, don't you have an ad to
Tony.
read or something?
There's like a ring of podcast producers, and it's all just a big MLM.
right.
You guys.
I'm losing the Zoom connection, I think. Have you guys heard me?
Is that what's happening?
Well, speaking of my hair, Vegamore is a transformative 100% vegan and takes a clean, holistic approach to hair health that leverages smart botanicals clinically proven to promote visibly thicker, fuller, longer-looking hair. You guys, I have been using Vegamore on my hair. Because I was finding that my hair was thinning. I was finding more and more hair in the shower drain, on my pillow, and in my brush than on top of my head. And nothing worked until I tried Vegamore. After 3 months, my hair is looking thicker and fuller. And I'm getting all sorts of compliments. And it smells really good. It smells like sweet citrus. It almost smells like, I want to say, I haven't smelled Trix in a long time. But when I first smelled it, I was like, this smells like a smell from my childhood, like a sweet citrus smell. It smells so good. So Vegamore's Grow Revitalizing Shampoo and Conditioner Kit and Grow Serum work together to create visibly thicker hair and improve hair from the roots. It's easy to use. You just massage the shampoo into your scalp, follow up with the conditioner. For prime results, follow up your wash routine with one daily dropper full of the serum applied to your scalp, massage it in, and done. It is just that easy. Give Vegamore a try risk-free for 90 days. You're going to love them as much as I do. Go to vegamore.com/BFF and use code BFF to save 20% on your first order. That's Vegamore, VEGAMOUR.com/BFF. Code BFF to save 20% at vegamore.com/BFF. I also want to tell you guys about a show that you're going to love. We are supported by Peacock's Below Deck Down Under. Good day, yachties. Your favorite reality franchise is charting a course for Australia in Peacock's new original series, Below Deck Down Under. Do you know how hard it is for me not to try a terrible Australian accent, but I'm not going to. On a super yacht near the Great Barrier Reef, it's not just the waves that rock the boat. Each charter of outrageous guests presents new challenges for the yachty hotties, but you can count on them to work hard and play harder. Besides, there may be sharks in the water, but this crew has a bite of its own. Fan fave Aisha from Below Deck Med is back as Chief Stew, while hunky newcomer Jason has everyone saying, aye, aye, Captain. Add in yacht-sized egos and dueling deckhands, and you can bet there's drama on the horizon. If you're looking for the ultimate escape, pull up that anchor and come aboard. Below Deck Down Under is streaming now with new episodes every Thursday only on Peacock. Okay. Renee, you have a new job, or you've changed jobs since last time we talked to you. Fill us in.
Excuse me. I want to be like you, and so I was going to
It's such a cool girl cough. Yeah, cool girls cough.
Get it.
They know.
You understand.
We know.
You understand. Yeah, man, I'm on this producer journey, and I was like, I think I did it. I think this is what I like. This is great. So I was over at Earwolf, and I was working on Seth's show, and then I was told that, you have to be professional now and put yourself on LinkedIn. And I'll tell you what, you get scooped up so fast when you do that, because then people are looking for specific things. So I got scooped up to work for a new production company. They're called At Will Media. And so they're not a podcast network. They just make podcasts and then they sell it to networks. So I got brought on to do a show for a network. I don't think I can talk about it just yet, but when I do, especially for what's your behind the scenes show that we do, Allison, on Patreon? The secret.
Oh,
show?
Friend Zone.
Friend Zone.
Patreon.
So people who have listened to the Friend Zone will know that it is my passion. It is my everything that I love so much, and I think that'll come out probably late this fall.
Is it about Broadway?
Exciting.
Yeah, no, it's
You can't say.
my other passion. Yeah, it's slightly a joke when I say that, but also something. That
Oh my God, I'm dying to know. I'm so excited. Congratulations. So let me get this straight. Your place of employment was like, we need you to have a profile on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then that made you get hired elsewhere.
Isn't that funny?
Why did they want you to be on LinkedIn?
I don't know. And I think my boss was just trying to be helpful, where she's like, hey, I was on LinkedIn. I didn't see that you're there. And I was like, you are making a very good point. So then I'm on LinkedIn. And then I got scooped up.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard of someone getting hired on LinkedIn.
Work here anymore. What's the easiest way and friendliest way we can do that?
How can we get you out of here,
Daniel?
In an effective way. Yes.
I noticed
that my sandwich was not in the refrigerator once again. How's your LinkedIn looking?
What's that doing?
Honey,
you
should be on Tinder.
That was the joke I was going to make. Yeah, Daniel, I noticed we weren't on we should both be on Tinder. What are we doing? Yes. That's so cool. Well, congrats. So are you going into an office? Are you doing this from where you are?
Yeah, they're mostly based in Brooklyn. So they have an office in Brooklyn, and then there's a handful of us out here. So we go to like a workspace area occasionally, but for the most part, it's still working remote. And they're small. They're like 25 people that work there. And I think I'm finding that I might not be a corporate gal. I think I like working with a little team where my email is just my first name. It's a lot of fun. I like it a lot.
That's so great.
It's so crazy to hear you refer to Earwolf as a corporate environment, because
isn't that wild?
When we started there, it was like we were next to this rehab facility. So we'd finish recording and go out to like talk about it. And it was always people coming over that, were in varying states of midway into addiction or trying to step out of it, always wanting cigarettes, like looking like maybe they would do something if necessary to get money. It was just a weird kind of like uneasy, let's get out of here. Very uncorporate sort of feel. So your team will be that in a short period of time.
That's the thing that I was just like, oh, so you just got a lily pad every 3 years when they get bought, if that's how it goes. But yeah, it happens so quick when it does. Because when I started in 2019, they were still a pretty cute little doodad, and then then they weren't.
Oh, man. Well, and you guys don't know this about Renee. I've been writing these little audio sketches, and she's like, I just got to tell you up front, I'm not a good actor. And she's the best actor. She's so good.
First off, David is making incredible sketch. Do we have, when listeners can find that, how they can find that, what they can do? It is so funny. It is so funny what you're making. They're going to lose their mind over it.
Thanks. There will be one for this show. It's only been postponed 6 or 8 months at this point, but due to happen.
So David gave me a sketch that is Renee Colvert. That's exactly who it is. Can I tell him the premise a little bit? Or
sure, yeah.
Okay. So it is a woman who is tired of dating to the point where she is now finding herself on a date with a paint can. And as she's sitting there, she's just like, honestly, yeah, okay. So I think David was kind to be like, oh, you're a good actor. But I was like, no, that's just me accessing what happened on Saturday. So I think if we get it close enough to my real life, then, oh, man. But it's really fun. I'm excited for what you're making.
Thanks. But guys, seriously, really good actor.
The nicest. Do you guys find that that's true of most good actors? Of the like, oh, no, that's them. And that happens to work. I feel like most of the actors we love are kind of the exact same person in every single thing they do. That's just that's their nuances. And we like that collectively.
I think
interesting.
you have Bryan Cranston from Seinfeld and Malcolm in the Middle to then Breaking Bad is insanely different. But
Agreed.
Jason Bateman in Arrested Development, you could take out and just set him in Ozark, and it's the exact same tone. It's the same level of like not giving a shit. It's really interesting because very likable in both scenarios. Like, this guy doesn't really seem to give a shit. His blood pressure doesn't go up too much. It's really interesting, but it's exactly what you're saying, that like, yeah, just deliver the lines like you're not trying to have it featured in an Oscar sort of clip about how good. And you were my father. Like when you see that, you're like, oh boy.
That's all you got to do. But same with like Owen Wilson, Jennifer Aniston, Like you just like their cool delivery of lines. And they happen to get lucky of just like, why don't you be? That's not. I don't want to take away from them. They are, I'm sure, very, very talented. But I think a little bit.
But you're just as good, is what you're saying.
Your nuances, right?
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's playing a little bit of a different character in Morning Show, but I feel like it arguably is a little less likable, or she's definitely a less likable character in that show.
Yeah. Agreed.
Should I watch Ozark? Because I watched some of the first season, and then I have famously said it's just way too blue for me. I can't handle the lighting.
If you're scared of Daniel's dark sex cult and all the things that could happen on the dark web.
Oh no, I don't mean blue like off color. I mean like literally, it's so blue. The whole thing. It's like they can't turn on the lights in this damn show.
There's so much stuff on. Have you seen The Americans?
Yes, we watched that during the pandemic.
Yeah, I always feel like if people are like kind of going, should I stick with this long, 3 or 4 season thing? The default is always, well, if you're on the fence, watch The Americans first, and then.
Do you like Ozark though, or Ozarks?
I think it had a lot of potential, and then they made some real crazy decisions as far as like the storyline that just lost me as a viewer a little bit. I still like it because I like the characters so much, but there's a lot of just like, what? Why? It makes no sense. Every FBI agent in the country's down there snooping out this casino 1 week later. They just blew up everything outside. There's no cops within 50 miles. It's just, there's little things like that are so weird to me. Like, not even a regional sheriff heard that explosion. No one's around.
Are you guys watching Our Flag Means Death on HBO? Just chat.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, is that on already?
Sure. Sure. So HBO Max. I don't know. I am delighted by it. The premise is, what if someone who like really adhered to the leadership practices of Brene Brown? So like celebrating your vulnerability and using a 360 review and listening to people. But that person is the captain of a pirate ship. So he's like using all this squishy love. I'm having the best time with it. I love it so much. I can name Leslie Jones. I'm sure so many other famous people are in it, but Leslie Jones is the only one that I know.
I'll have to check that out.
Like it. It's fun. It's
cool.
A good time.
I like that premise.
Me too. There's one episode, without giving it away too much, the Brene Brown pirate guy is trying to teach a real pirate how aristocrats hurt each other. So he's just like slain everybody and stabbed everybody and done all this like truly horrible stuff. But then he tries to explain, well, when you're at high society, the upper crust, we use passive aggression to hurt people. And the pirate is just like horrified. He's like, that is diabolical. So you're just like, say something mean in a nice way. It's great. It's really funny.
That's really funny. I was going to say something. I lost it. It was right in there. It was right in my noggin.
Pirates,
no, I
TV
don't know.
shows,
It's
diabolical.
Something in there. I don't know. David has Parenthood.
Oh, it's good. I got nominated for like 3 or 4 awards for it last week. Really nailing it at the park. So
nice.
Now, I'm not in it for the awards, but it's nice to get that sort of park recognition.
Yeah. And no, none of us are in it for the awards, but at the same time, it's nice to look at your mantle and see you.
Like, I was Regional Cool Buddy of the Month? Hell yeah. That was good.
Let's say hello and welcome to some patrons.
Allison wants to say thank you to a couple of special people out there who signed up to be new patrons. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Hello and welcome to Travis Lagness. He signed up for an annual subscription. Hello and welcome to Frank Rodriguez. Hello to Jen. Hello to Cynthia Hawk. Or is it Hotch? Let me know. She signed up for an annual subscription. Hello to Abby and hello and welcome to Alicia Thompson. Hello and welcome to all of you. I hope you guys are enjoying all your fun patron stuff, your rewards. Again, if you sign up, you get access to all the back stuff. And I've been doing it now for a while. So there's so much content. You'll beg me to leave you alone. Patreon.com/Allison Rosen.
Patreon.
2 months free if you sign up for a year. And it's fun. And also I've started a newsletter, which has been, I kind of started it on a lark. I've done 2 issues now. So it's been weekly so far and it's been really fun. It's been reminding me of when I started blogging. I've been writing almost daily, just sort of little personal. I've been writing about my episodes, and then linking to them in there, but also just sort of writing about other like the more I do it, the more I'm starting, I guess, to write less about like promotional, stuff about my episodes and stuff and more just about like my life and stuff. It's becoming more indulgent, I would say, more like a diary, more like a blog. But it's really fun. It's really fun to be writing again. So if you're interested at all in that, I'm going to move over to Substack. I'm not there yet. So if you want to sign up, if you go to just find me on Twitter, Instagram, and then the link in bio will take you right to a place where you can sign up and subscribe, and it's free. Yeah.
It's fun.
It's
Allison's
fun.
a good writer.
Thank you.
Yeah, writer.
Some say she's
Yeah,
a great
I
writer.
always subscribe to that. That sounds great. What kind of little anecdotes? What kind of little life bits and bops are we getting?
Well, I've been talking about some intense stuff lately.
Okay.
I
What heavy anvils are you dropping on us?
well, some of the heavy anvils. Talked about on Upworthy Weekly, we were talking about the afterlife a little bit. So I mentioned just that, like, I don't really believe in the afterlife. That was last week. I talked about that, but in like a sort of light and, breezy kind of way. I mentioned that. And then this week I talked about how I grew up in, a really like conservative religious area where I always kept the fact that I didn't believe in anything a secret because I was afraid of becoming an outcast because of that. And again, light and breezy with some jokes in there. So I was kind of surprised at how casually I disclosed that last week. But then when I noticed that 2 people quickly unsubscribed after last week's issue, I was like, oh, is it because of that? Is it because of my wanton hedonism? So I talked about that a little bit. And then I mentioned that Elliot, our son, I didn't describe him that way. I just assume people know who he is, has been asking about death and what happens when you die. And despite the fact that I am, obviously I'm not sure, but, sure
Well, he
enough.
hasn't been asking you.
He hasn't been asking me. No, but if you read the newsletter, he has been. Look, accuracy is boring, my friend.
He's been asking us.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I talked about how, despite my own beliefs, like I'm not laying that on our kid because that just seems too much to expect. But it's sort of a hard needle to thread with a kid, the discussion of what happens when you die, especially when I didn't go into this much detail, but like if we had a belief system that we felt certain about, like when you die, you go to heaven. And this, if
so
we
much easier.
The discussions would be easier, I think.
So easy. Although
Right.
what I just said to him was like, this is what some people believe. This is what some other people believe. And I don't know.
Yeah.
He seems to like the idea of reincarnation a lot. So I'm like,
Who wouldn't? Yeah, that's great.
to roll with that one, kiddo.
Rather than there be like kids say the darndest things and like, what do you do in school? Or that makes your teacher crazy. I think the moment they're like forming sentences, there really should be an aggressive, like, all right, you're the closest you've ever been and communicative to whatever's before this. What do you remember?
Yeah, what do you remember?
What did it feel like to come like into the world? Do you remember the
David,
lights?
this could be a basis of the cult, which is like hypnotizing
Yes.
infants,
Yes.
hypnotizing babies.
Bring your babies. They get 6. They're out of here. They've aged out.
It's like,
But
like, and then what do you remember, baby? What do you remember? And that might tell us.
Yes. Yes.
That's really interesting. Have you tried it, Dave? How's it going? Is that how you got your awards? You got your kid to tell you
baby hypnotist.
I did have a bullhorn, and I mean, the award could have been to just get me to leave, but I was like, "You're not gonna believe what I just heard," and people were like, kind of packing up. It was the end of the day, but what I had heard was a kid like scooping with a little sandcastle shovel, saying something like, "Yeah, my last life, I was an aardvark anyway," and so I like to spread that around. I just like people to know that. But there was an article recently where this woman was like, "Yeah, my 2-year-old was talking about like being like basically dying in quicksand." So imagine a kid just like coloring her son. He was 2, and just like, "Yeah, when I was an adult, I sank. I went down into the sand, and then I was here, and I'm a baby now, and da 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 da." And so she was, but I feel like there are a number of those, and there was one where this kid, and who knows how realistic this is. I feel like this is an urban legend, but he was describing going down in like a fighter plane in like World War II, and then they looked it up and could match like some of the descriptive elements of it to, I think this might check out. And so there could be something there. And that's where I would like point a child to be like, we don't have like what we would call firm evidence, but we have some tangential stuff that's fascinating. So
Yeah, I feel like exploring all the different things that people believe, except one, the one Daddy believes, which is
right.
yeah.
That one's too much. But when what did you say that he asked when you were talking about reincarnation? He asked if he
had asked me about it, and then there was like we moved on and we were reading a book, or and then he could tell he was thinking about it, and then he goes, "Daddy, will I remember my name?" I was like, I hope so, but nope. Do you remember your last name? Yeah, that's a sad thought, but
I mean, if we have that at that young age, that impulse to ask that, like, when I leave here, am I going to know that you were this to me? Someone I was like blood related to, someone I met that we were in a foxhole together and stayed best friends for the rest of our lives. We were in an old folks home together. The thought of like thinking that out and going, and then you die and just like none of it, you remember zero. It's such a sad thought.
It really is.
It's so brutal to think. You can see why, if religion was written down with like, all right, what are some other things people hate? I hate the idea of not remembering any of you, if I'm honest. You're like, yeah, there's like clouds and we're all there. Yeah, we're all still there. Point. We're just in robes. We're all there. You could just feel the group be like, this is the best group I've ever been in. I just love that. Yeah. The cloud thing is so nice. It's so comforting. Who would not like that?
Yeah. Yes. The idea of being able to
Have you ever been to a family reunion though? Like after a few hours, you're like, oh.
Imagine Jesus showing up to heaven. Unbearable for him. Just like, I'm the biggest fan. Hey, you won't believe how much I loved you.
You're right. For whom is heaven? Not him.
Not at all. I just came by for some juice. Just give me a minute.
Just after a while, it's like your grandfather's like, "Hey, did I tell you?" Yes.
Yep.
You told me that.
I
story.
absolutely heard that. Yes.
We're all out of stories, Grandpa.
Oh, look at Tugboat behind Renee.
I know.
Ah,
Oh, I didn't even see.
What are you doing? They're talking about you.
Oh my God. How
There he
cute.
is.
Hi, buddy.
I had an experience this morning though that made me think that maybe passing away isn't the worst thing for old DQ.
Oh, great.
Because
It's not a sentence I want to hear, man.
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying, like, as you get older, it's not as tragic.
What are you talking about?
Well, I was in the drive-thru for Starbucks, and I went to pay, and I brought out my credit card, and she has the little reader, and she's like, "Tap it," and I was like, "What?" And I was like sitting there pushing it, and she's like, "No, you tap it." And apparently the credit card has like a little Bluetooth symbol. Have you ever heard of this?
Welcome to 2022,
I've done this.
Daniel.
All right. So I didn't know that. I was like, oh, look at that. I go, it's like a Bluetooth thing. She explains it to me. I'm like, that's cool. I go, can I hook my headphones up to it and listen to it?
Oh God.
Oh. This hurts worse than your other sentence you
But
said.
listen to me, David. Listen to me. It's not like I thought that was gold. It's not like I was like,
You thought enough of it to say it, and that's
no,
offensive.
but I am at the age where I want to be awkward with service people and watch them squirm.
No, why?
It's because I want to see. I
The
want
life
something
drain from her eyes.
She goes.
The light go out.
She goes, well, soon it'll be in your contact lenses, and then she vanished. She was like
Heart. She
halfway
just
through.
ducked down. It's only
halfway
like a
through what she
2
was
foot by 2
saying.
foot thing. She just ducked.
Yeah, she's like, I don't get paid enough to stay in this drive-through window.
What you
I'm out.
did to her is a freshman who gets a wedgie and becomes a senior and gives a freshman a wedgie going, it happens to all of us. You got to earn your stripes back. You got that headset on. It sucks. You could have just said nothing and then like, I hope the next person's equally as uneventful as me. But you didn't.
I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. I'm just trying to create as many awkward situations as I can to make dying
No way,
easier.
man.
I think that's
No
a microaggression, a macroaggression.
Could be.
That's just aggression.
Yeah. The pirates on Renee's ship would be like, that's a beauty. That's
That's the one that'll take you down. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that made you want to die? Because I bet it made her want to die.
No.
She's
This is
dead now. That's the part that's left out. She vanished and never returned.
I enjoyed it. That's why it's disturbing. That's why it's
Got
time
it.
to
Oh, no.
suicide by cop is coming.
Right.
Because
You're going to be mowing the lawn with really short shorts and high socks pretty soon.
I was like,
just
that
'cause you
was
like
fun.
it.
No, I've reached that age where I'm not bothered by being awkward anymore. Now I'm empowered to be awkward everywhere.
Okay.
I like it. Okay.
Don't take this the wrong way, but there is a way.
Think about what you're about to say.
I thought she was
have-
going to say I want a divorce.
Think about it.
But don't take it the wrong way.
Think about it.
I would like a divorce.
No, I'm committed. I just want everyone to know that you eat peanuts like an old man.
Oh, I've always eaten them peanuts. Like I eat.
Wait, you know what
The
I'm talking
shake
about?
'em up thing?
Yes.
What are we talking
pop them in your mouth.
Why?
I don't know if it's old man. It's more like middle-aged man who plays backgammon. It's a particular type of man who's definitely older.
It's someone
And
who did it
it's a
in a
businessman.
production of West Side Story to look kind of cool. But then people that saw that in like 1947 were like, that's cool. And then they kept doing it. And it just got like that generation. No one younger than them did it until Daniel. So it was kind of cool at some point and it just disappeared.
Daniel's bringing it back.
It's the only way to eat peanuts. I eat M&Ms like that too.
Anything that can be if he could eat dice, he would eat dice that way. Anything
funny.
that he can put in his hand, shake, and then pop into his mouth.
It's just
Okay.
I'm slipping gracefully into a very disturbing part of old age.
But Daniel, I see what you're saying. It sort of softens the blow of you won't remember any of this to just mortify yourself on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Of just like, but that's
Right,
but
because your
not
fear
gonna
of
remember
dying
that.
has always
Yeah.
been like, this is going to be so sad
Oh
Right.
yeah.
when I leave. But if you
Yeah.
can make it so it's not that
You're
tragic.
kind of
it's not really
salting
that
the
tragic.
earth.
Fair.
You're salting the earth.
Attention, everyone, even employees that are on break. Gina needs a little breather from the Bluetooth thing. Anyone available, come relieve Gina.
She's like, I did it to myself. I mentioned the Bluetooth to an old man. What is he going to do except say something stupid?
I actually think her comeback of "it'll be in your contact lenses" is pretty good.
She in like the 50th time she'd said it.
I mean, God bless her.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's when you can say something that you know everybody's said and then say it with the confidence of someone who thinks the person is hearing it for the first time.
Yeah. That's chops.
Pretty good.
You're just hitting your stride.
That's funny.
You guys, this has been nothing short of delightful. I started off the show better than ever, and then we stayed at that top peak for the entire show. I couldn't have done it without you. I love every single one of you. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm freestyling now.
No.
Yeah.
I blame daylight savings, by the way.
Yes.
Sure.
Let's just talk about it
it's
for
tricky.
1 second, because daylight, every hot take has been hot taken, but except for mine. I tweeted yesterday. I said, let's find someone who loves daylight savings and sacrifice them.
Great.
And I still agree with it. But anyway,
An appropriate
yesterday,
response.
all day, I was like, it's 3:00, but I know it's supposed to feel like 2:00, but it feels like 4:00. Like the entire day felt later than it was because I was so tired because we got up early. Like everything just felt off the whole day. You guys?
Gina needs a real break from just dealing with.
All right. Anyway, if you like what you're hearing, and even if you don't, please make sure you're subscribed. Leave us a nice comment, please. We read them on the show. Renee, one of our recent comments was someone who said they need more Renee Colvert on the show. And then I said,
Nice.
I said to them, she's coming on. And now here you are.
Get
That's
this.
right.
Here
I know.
come.
I know.
Well, honored.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Leave us a nice comment. We read them on the show. We also read negative comments on the show, but we like the nice ones better. But if you got to leave a negative, which occasionally I get it, you have to. How about a 5-star? 5-star with your negative. That makes it go down easier. So what else is I going to? Oh, yeah. Follow me on social media at Allison Rosen on Twitter and Instagram. Listen to my other shows, Upworthy Weekly and Childish. And Renee, where might we find you?
Yes, God, I'm evaporating. Because Can I Pet Your Dog is ending.
What?
And
What?
I know, yeah, we're going to end April 19th. I
Oh
feel
my
like
God.
7 years is enough time to talk about dogs. Everybody. We'll see. If I miss anything, I'll bring it back. And then I'm not on social media anymore. I guess keep an eye on At Will Media. At some point, I'll produce a show for you there. And then Dave's show when that comes out.
No podcast and no social media. You're going to get kicked out of Los Angeles.
I
Wait.
know they're not going to let me be here.
You're not
I'm
on social media
it,
at all?
but not.
Not really.
I do not know what has happened to me.
That's so good.
Where I just I'm like, I'm fine. Is
Yeah.
it
You
high
I feel like
functioning
that's
depression,
healthy.
or is
No,
it like
that
empower-
seems-
It doesn't feel sad. It might be sad, but it doesn't feel sad. It's just like I don't care.
I think that's really
Is
good.
Weirdly, how I feel
Yeah.
about people seeing me these days.
I think that's really good. In fact, I don't know. Wait, are you cutting back from doing podcasts, other people's podcasts or anything? Because I would love to have you on the Friend Zone to talk about these decisions you've made because,
sure.
okay, great. Because
Yes,
I, all the
happy to be
time,
on
I would
anybody
just
else's show.
would
Yeah,
love to
I
hear
just
about how this
wanna go my
works,
own.
not being on social media, because I don't think I could ever do it, but I need to
Sure.
be on less.
Well, but it's if you have to promote, I think it's tricky. But that's what's nice about being a producer is that you don't have to promote anymore. You just make it,
we must talk.
and then you guys,
Love
you
it.
guys go promote it. Great.
Dave, what about you?
I just want to reiterate that I think Renee is making great decisions, and she led off by saying she got a new job that she loves. You're doing it right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
And again, a phenomenal actor. I just can't wait for that episode to come out, whatever it is or whatever it is. For now, it's just been fun making these sketches with friends, and that'll come out at some point, just like a scripted sketch comedy podcast. For now, I do my interview podcast, which is with artists and scientists, so Caltech type people. It's called The Space Cave. I do an improv show with Wendy Molyneux called These Are Those Tapes. And season 3 is coming out hopefully within the next month or so. And information and all that stuff about Big Nothingness, this thing I spent the whole pandemic editing and making, is at davidhuntsberger.com. And you can find Big Nothingness on YouTube as well. And then the only social media I've been doing lately is Instagram, where I post a comic. I drew lots of comics over the years. So if you like cartoons, it's Dave Huntsberger on there. That's it.
Yay. And Daniel, what about you?
Well, you can find me bumming out service people with my...
Oh, this lid's on a little loose. Better circle back around.
And now you can, I don't know, you can follow me at Twitter, Instagram, Daniel Quantz. Sure.
Wonderful. And Tony?
I am on social media at
Tony Thaxton.
and my podcast Bizarre Albums every Tuesday, and and you can hear me twice a week on the Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend program, soon to be in person exclusively.
For $80K a week.
It's cheap at half the price. What does that even mean, cheap at half the price? Does that mean expensive?
I don't know, but this is a strong ending to the show.
To be continued, that particular question. Okay, you guys, this has been delightful. Listeners, thank you for listening. I love you. You matter. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Allison Rosen show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Allison Rosen is your new best friend.